Antonio Griezmann, one of the players that Man United was going to sign in 2017. But guess what happened? Shit happened and they went ahead to ban Atletico Madrid from buying players, and that's why he obviously never went ahead to join Jose Mourinho. Mourinho had gone ahead to obviously convince him to join Man United. He also went ahead to obviously do an interview in France and confirmed that he's joining Man United, and everything fell apart. Yesterday, as they drew 3-3 with Getafe, remember Getafe is where Mason Greenwood is playing on a long season loan. There, he has gone ahead and described this guy as unstoppable. Real threat, he's unreal, and he's obviously getting into Phil Pelt on where we expect him to be. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? This is Rock and David. You can as well call me RD, and don't forget to subscribe to see that we hit 17,000 subscribers before the end of this year. Even the manager of Getafe has come out and obviously given Greenwood his flowers on the night, because he was really unreal on the night, and he really bossed the game, and he was really marauding, in the final third of the pitch. We are talking about Andre Onana again. Eric Jemba, one of those African players that came in throughout United and really flopped, has come out and obviously spoken about his fellow countryman, All National, known as Andre Onana, on how he's really faring at the club of Man United. And lastly, Danny Gore transfer is really considered on a loan. Teams are interested in him, but the big question is, will Erik ten Hag leave him to go and play for the championship side? Because he didn't do that for Zidane Iqbal, he did do that for Kobe Menu, and very many others. So let's start it off from here. But before we start off, we thank God for the gift of life, and thank you, God, for everything that really went in through. So the game ended 3-3 in favor of no one, and Griezmann, who scored a brace, is the man who came out and obviously acknowledged Mason Greenwood as a real threat in that game. And these were his words: Mason Greenwood was really causing us problems in the second half. We couldn't stop him, and it cost us the game. So Greenwood, by the way, if you look at that game, to me, he almost was the best player, because even in the first half, you saw that he was really making runs, and the way he obviously trusts himself. There is a turn he made when he really got the ball and he really played negative. He made a negative run towards his goal, and everyone thought that now he's going to pass to the goalkeeper, because that is the ordinary stuff that anyone does. Guess what he did? He made a very wondrous turn, and sprint past a player and went ahead to find in a pass towards the touchline. So this guy is really amazing. And if at all you watch that game, it was not only the second half, but even the first half, he really made lots of runs and lots of touches and lots of threats for this side. But I think people like Griezmann had not gone ahead to get to know what this guy is made of. This guy is super talented. Mason Greenwood, he is really a guy who will obviously make you think that football is really easy to play, but he gave them a very hard time as Atletico Madrid, and they need to obviously acknowledge him, because he is really unreal. And what people don't understand is that that's not where Greenwood is supposed to be. He has not even reached 50% of his performances. I'm telling you this. Why? He was out from, I think, the 21st, I think towards the end of, let's count from the 1st of February, 2022, and he has returned to action 18 months later. You get? Meaning that he has not been playing football for 1.5 years. He's back to his feet, but his confidence and his mentality are not yet back to 100%. And trust me, his match fitness levels are not at par as they're supposed to be, but he's looking as a threat, as Antonio Griezmann has gone ahead to obviously confirm to us that he was really a threat in the second half, and it cost them the game. He could really play anywhere, and comfortably he plays on the left, he plays on the right, he drops in the center, he drops in the midfield. It's like the manager's going to hate to trust him and is willing to obviously make him play as an all-round player in that team. And if you want good players like him, or good players like him, to really thrive in a team, in any team, you just have to give him a free role that you maraud around, make those runs. And when he makes such runs, he makes it hard. He makes it hard for his opponents to track him, because Diego Simeone's team is all about man-to-man marking. They come out to obviously frustrate you. They'll really elbow you. They'll knock you. They'll really go in for you and foul you every time, such that they make you not think about the game, because everyone knows the threat that this guy really brings onto the field of play. And he so far has 3 goals and I think 4 or 5 assists in the league. And he's just getting started, By the time he reaches into completion mode, you guys, La Liga will obviously be yearning to obviously see him stay. And they've been always lacking stars that make news. Messi has left, Ronaldo has left, Benzema is nowhere. And when you look at that entire La Liga side, they don't have stars that make news. That's why the signing of Bellingham is really very important. And I think the La Liga side will be fighting to see to it that they see this boy elevate to big teams in the La Liga. See to it that they really get the best. Then we go to the guy called Jose Bordalas. Jose Bordalas is the manager of Mason Greenwood. The manager of Mason Greenwood has come out and also had something to say about the performance of his player. And, I'm going to really hint about this after really reading you that message of the manager, because it's really very important for everyone to obviously know about it, about Mason Greenwood. About Mason Greenwood and how everything is really panning out for the player. The manager has come out and really said the following. He said, "I said it from day one, it's fantastic. He's a fantastic player and he would reach his best level. Little by little, we have treated him really well. The whole team played a great game." That's what the manager really went ahead to say. And I think you all agree with us. And I think you guys will all agree with us that this guy is really special. And if you really don't believe in him, then I always tell you, football is not meant for you. Because this guy has shown us different levels that most people haven't gone ahead to see in this game of football. And that is Mason Greenwood. The manager is telling us exactly what I've just gone ahead to let you know, that he's a fantastic player and he would reach his best level little by little. We have treated him really well. The whole team played a great game. So he's a fantastic player and he would reach his best level little by little, meaning that he hasn't clicked or clocked his best levels. That's what you should put in your head. He hasn't clocked his best levels and he's performing at like 50%. He's averagely performing. We who know his potential, we know how far he can go, Mason Greenwood. And I think if he's under a manager like Jose Bordalas, these are managers who are really known for obviously turning around careers of talented players. He's going to improve him as a manager, and in Spain, technical ability is really very, very important, and very many managers really concentrate so much on the technical abilities of the players. So Greenwood is really blessed, and I told you that all what happened in between him and the wife might have gone ahead to be a blessing in disguise, that he needed development from another team that never had pressure like that of Man United, because United has a lot of pressure. But when you have a season away at Getafe, there is the way it grows your confidence. I know he was performing at Man United, and right now he's at Getafe, and he wants to prove everyone wrong. You get? He's really doing the job, and he needed a step down, to fight back to where he's supposed to be. I know next summer, United can even get £50 million from Mason Greenwood, because his performances are really going to be huge. And you United fans who don't want Greenwood back, you are going to miss out on one of the best players in the world. You get? This guy is not going to be limited. the problem that would have gone ahead to stop him from becoming what he would have gone ahead to be came early in his career. It is a turning point, and trust me, if he's playing in Spain at that level, teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona will look out for this player, and he will play for those teams. He will. If United doesn't want him back, teams like Real Madrid or Barcelona will go for him, because this guy is really one of a kind. And trust me, for those that have gone ahead to front this, that I don't want him to play for a club again, you will haunt. You will close yourselves behind your bedrooms and really cry. You know, sometimes people make mistakes and everyone deserves a second chance. Now, people are denying him a second chance at Man United, and he's performing outside there in Getafe. But ask yourself, if you are to get in a player performing at the levels of Mason Greenwood, how much would you pay for him? If Anthony has not gone ahead to perform at the levels that Greenwood was performing at the age of 17, and we bought him £85 million, then how much can we spend on a player who can obviously match the levels of Greenwood? That is like £100+ million. So let's not look near. Let's not be short-sighted. Let's try to really look beyond. Let's get out the magnifying glasses and see, who is this guy gonna be? He's just 22, remember. He's left with 3 years to hit his prime. In those 3 years, if United happen to sell the player, oh my, you'll tell me. We pray for the gift of life that we are here when Mason Greenwood hits his prime. All of you will be here mourning that, why didn't we keep this player? All right, leaving the Greenwood story aside, let's go to Eric Jemba, once a Red Devil at the club of Man United. He has come out and really said something about Onana, and he was really talking with the BBC. He said one of the problems for him is, even if he plays well over the next month, he then goes away for a month to the AFCON. He knows if he goes, maybe he'll lose his place at Man United. He has to decide what is best for him. He just needs to do what is best for his career. So, for me, in my opinion, I've always said, if I'm Andre Onana, I would have gone ahead to delay my return to the Cameroon national team. That is it. He would have gone ahead to think about his return to the Cameroon national team after one season, or after settling in the club of Manchester United, because if he had gone ahead to obviously say that I'm not going to play because of what happened in the World Cup, and he had a very good season at Inter Milan, then why do you accept to go back when you're really having a career blowing hot and cold at Man United? All he needed was to sit down and really make a very good decision. But I really understand what it comes with when you come in at Manchester United. It comes in with a lot, because United, Arsenal are the most supported teams in Africa. So Manchester United fans outside there in Cameroon were excited to see to it that their player is obviously playing for the Manchester United side. And when you look at the president, Samuel Eto'o knows exactly how to market this. He knows that if you bring in a player like Andre Onana as the national team playing for the club of Man United, that really hypes, the crowd coming in through. You can even increase the price of the ticket because they're coming through to watch a player of Manchester United. And the brand of the Cameroon national team, because Cameroon, for long, they've not been having a player who has been playing at a higher profile club. And I think the last player they had was Samuel Eto'o. You get? But right now, they're really having a player playing for Manchester United, and they had to really seize the moment. But for him, I think on the other side, if at all you flip the coin, he just doesn't need to worry that he's going to lose his position. That is it. Ten Hag has him as his first choice goalkeeper. He has gone ahead to confirm that, because even when he made mistakes, Bendeir was not given a chance, So even if Ben Dayer is going to be in between the stitches for some time, but when this guy returns from the African Cup of Nations, he's gonna be the first choice goalkeeper of Man United, and he's really having fantastic performances. You saw him against Liverpool. He shows you those qualities as to why Ten Hag went in for him, and it's just a matter of time for him to obviously hit the ground running. Then Manchester United are expected to allow a number of youngsters to head out on loan in January to fuel their development. Preston North End have expressed interest in signing Man United midfielder Dan Gore on a loan exit. Now, everything that is going to hate to come out about Dan Gore, I think it's really good. He is a talented player, but the big question is, will Erik ten Hag allow him to obviously go on loan? Because we saw it with Kobe Menu and Zidane Igbo. Teams wanted them, and they said staying at the club of Manchester United and training with the club is better than going out on loan. That is Erik ten Hag. Unless when his manager keeps pushing for it, because we know the likes of Amad Diallo really came in through and really made a decision with their agent to obviously go to Sunderland, and we saw how it obviously paid off. Hannibal at Birmingham, it paid off, So we look at Erik ten Hag as one of those managers that he doesn't want to loan out players that he believes are really good. He knows that they can improve the club of Manchester United and chances are going to be there. But this time round, it's really going to be a little bit different. With us playing in the FA Cup and the Premier League, we're almost going to be playing one game per week on average. That means these young players won't get a chance like they would have gone ahead to get if at all we are still in the Champions League or the UEFA Europa League and so on and so forth. You get? So, I think it can be a different narrative altogether because we don't have very many games to play and you have a very huge squad. In the midfield, Casemiro is back, Eriksson is back, Mason Mount is going to be back, there is Amrabat, Kobe Menu, Eriksson, Scott McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, 8 players, and there is no way Danny Gore gets ahead of those 8 players. I think he'll make a decision. There is even Hannibal, So they are close to 10 players ahead of Dan Gore, and Dan Gore needs to get experience, but it'll depend on the decision that Erik ten Hag has to make as a manager of Manchester United. So for Dan Gore, at his age, I think he's 19, came in, obviously played very well. What a way to obviously be under Erik ten Hag, but that decision will really depend on what Erik ten Hag thinks about this player, on whether his development will be very intense when he's playing away at Man United or when he's training with the first team. So we thank God for the gift of life. We call upon for your reactions of Griezmann commending or acknowledging Greenwood as unstoppable. What do you make about Onana being advised by Eric Jemba on whether to go to the African Cup of Nations at Man United? And what are your thoughts about Dan Gore? Would you let him go to Preston North End, or you keep him at the club of Manchester United? We sign out for now. See you later. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. We out.